In the first few hours of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, you're going to get a lot of information thrown at you. Learning unique combat systems, navigating a dangerous and beautiful world, and finding yourself buried deep in a mysterious story full of complex characters. Also, giant f***ing chickens for some reason. There's a lot going on, so you can be forgiven for letting some of this vital info slip through the cracks. So here's some things I wish I knew when starting out my Sekiro adventure. Let's begin with the UI. The most recognisable part of the layout to Soulsborne veterans is the lower right. Here you'll see your quick item slot, which can be cycled through a total of 5 allocated items: healing, buffs, offensive projectiles, etc. Next to that is a small icon representing your weapon, which is curious as the game seems to focus solely on the use of a single sword. However, this could possibly change to indicate augmentations later on. Below that are your spirit emblems, which serve as ammo for your prosthetic tool, replenished from kills or found floating around the world. The tools themselves, shown here, can be quickly switched out between a total of 3 at any one time, with later tools needing to be swapped in and out of those slots from the pause menu. On the lower left is your vitality bar, which can be upgraded by spending beads obtained from boss drops, with icons underneath this representing current buffs from item use, and debuffs from things like being on fire. Probably the most important and convoluted mechanic is resurrection. Above your vitality bar are 2 pink circles which represent your ability to resurrect. One with the symbol of a flower, and the other with, I'm gonna say, a leaf? After your first resurrection, flower, a black strike through will disable your ability to revive until you defeat more enemies. Strike through gone, you're now safe to die again and use the second circle, leaf. After that, you'll die proper and need to respawn at a sculptor's idol, which comes at a price, which I'll explain in a minute. Recharging your flower resurrection is as simple as resting at a sculptor's idol. To recharge your leaf resurrection, however, you'll need to kill a bunch of enemies and slowly fill it back up with resurrective power. Finally, the top bar displays your total number of available skill points and progress towards earning more. These can then be spent on new active and passive abilities from 3 separate skill trees: shinobi arts, prosthetic arts, and ashina arts. Active combat arts will need to be equipped into a specific slot to be used. You start with one of these, but it looks as if you'll unlock at least one more. The other main spendable in the game is sen, gold dropped by enemies. You don't auto-collect it, so make sure you're holding that epic anime loot collect button after clearing an area of baddies. This currency can then be spent at NPC vendors or exchanged at sculptor statues for spirit emblems. Back to that death punishment, when you die and can no longer resurrect, half of the sen and skill you're carrying are lost, and unlike Soulsborne's, you can't recollect them. There is, however, a percentage chance to come away without losing anything, and this is represented by a stat known as unseen aid. This starts out at 30%, but the more you die and are resurrected, the lower the percentage gets, and in game lore, this is tied to the spread of a disease known as Dragonrot, which afflicts the world's NPCs. The only way to get your unseen aid back up is to seek out these NPCs, obtain their diseased blood, and return it to the dilapidated shrine where Emma, this woman, can exchange it for an item which can be consumed at a sculptor statue to cleanse the world of the rot essence. It's that simple. Once you've got a basic handle on the interface, the rest of the game is somewhat more straightforward, but there are still plenty of obscure systems and curiosities that can slip by. For starters, it's absolutely worth checking every nook, cranny, and precarious cliffside ledge. Doubling back and scanning the distance reveals many a hidden shiny. There are thousands of different items, but you do have a limited carry capacity for each type between sculptor statues. Excess items are placed in storage and replenished upon revisiting a statue, but once your stores are completely empty, you'll have to find or purchase more. Holding the dodge button, B or circle, really gets you moving. I mean, I spent 2 hours and many a battle without even realizing this. Now, some will call me an idiot for missing that, but I prefer to look at the fact that I was able to cruise through the opening areas without even utilizing such a fundamental skill. Useful as it is in fights, the sprint also has you outpacing regular foes, so you can do some swift gauntlet runs when needed. Talk to everyone and talk to them often. This is a From Software game, people, so remember, characters will have more to say even after their first bit of cryptic chatter. Remember to return to the dilapidated shrine where the sculptor and Emma, this woman, will upgrade equipment. And Hanabe the Undying is always an excellent training dummy to hone your skills. Outside of the shrine, NPCs drop bits of story and world building. Sometimes they'll lead to key items that unlock new areas. Other times they'll just be a weird item vendor in a pot. And if you're feeling like a socially awkward shinobi, try dropping some eaves. Listening in on unsuspecting guards can give you juicy pieces of info about potential enemy weakness or what to expect on the road ahead. Still, knowing is only half the battle, and this spear guy can just f right off. There's heaps more to discover on your journey through the world of Sekiro, and none of it's going to be easy. But now you're hopefully equipped with at least a little more knowledge and understanding. So, go be one shinobi the world will remember. Hello there.